What's up, everybody? I am Destroyar, your coach of the Washington Wake Pokemon Draft League team. Tonight's video, we are in week 6 of ZDL, and we are going up against the Grand Spectral Zoroarks. Let's take a look at the teams. We did make a couple of changes. I traded out Ursaluna, Keldeo, and Araquanid for Slowking, Great Tusk, and Ursaring. Did this because there was a team change and Great Tusk and Slowking were dropped, and I just had to have them. They cover some great weaknesses on my team. We'll talk about more of those later on, but we got to attack this team here, which has Lugia and which has Alolan Ninetales and Terra Raging Bolt. First up, we're going to bring our Great Tusk. I'm really hoping that I can get a sneaky heavy slam in on Alolan Ninetales with my Scarf. If I can maybe bring this in as a lead. If he also leads, I'm hoping I can surprise Oko Ninetales, and then I have to worry about his Aurora Veil for the rest of the game. The rest of the moves are there for coverage and disruption, and if I can get rid of Lugia, Headlong Rush goes really strong into this team. We're bringing Magearna with a balloon. I'm hoping that this thing will pretty much completely wall Clodsire and be able to get some free turns there. We're just going with 4 attacks. This combination of these attacks will do damage on pretty much everything he has. So this thing is made to come in, take a hit or two, specifically against Clodsire, pivot out with Volt Switch, and do some damage along the way. We're bringing Sneasler, another choice set. We're going to go Choice Band, Poison Touch here with Switcheroo. Hoping to maybe get Poison on Lugia, draw it out, poison it with a Poison Touch and U-turn. We might also do a Switcheroo onto Lugia or some of these more defensive Mon and cripple them that way. Next up is another overplan for Lugia here. I have Terra Ghost with Curse on Colossal, just as a way to do some damage against Lugia if it really gets set up with Calm Minds and I don't have any other way to do damage to it. And again, another Mon for Lugia. Maybe I'm overplanning for Lugia. We have Psych up on Slowking. If I can get the 1v1 with Slowking and Lugia, I can keep up with its Calm Minds by doing Psych up. I can slack off damage. I can do super effective damage to it with Ice Beam. And eventually the Psych ups will make it to where Psyshock actually is stronger into Lugia because its defense won't be getting raised, whereas its special defense will with Calm Minds. Last up, we are bringing Terra Steel Salamence with Heavy Duty Boots. Just kind of a standard Dragon Dance set here with a couple of coverage moves. Dual Wing Beat is going to be our main attack. Will allow us to break Multi-Scale on Lugia if we can. Earthquake will go hard into most things, and Psychic Fangs is there mostly because he has Alolan Ninetales, and we need to have at least one other plan other than surprising it with a Choice Scarf to kill it to be able to break that veil. So that's who we're bringing, and let's get into this fight. Okay, we are getting into the fight here against the Grand Spectral Zoroarks. This is a post-commentary version. Wasn't able to record day of, but it was a fun fight, and so I'm looking forward to going through kind of my thought processes as we were doing this one. So I'm leading Great Tusk here. My thought is hopefully he leads Alolan Ninetales. I've got a Scarf. I've got Heavy Slam. Unfortunately, don't get that matchup here. This is still a good matchup, though. I kind of am expecting him to switch here because this thing dies easily to Great Tusk. So I go for the knockoff, kind of expecting a switch into his Lugia, but he doesn't do it. I was kind of surprised there. Very bold on his part, I guess, or maybe he just doesn't care about preserving his Clodsire. But we at least were able to do a knockoff to it. Unfortunately, because we're Choice Scarf, rather than just killing it with Headlong Rush here, we have to switch out. So, kind of weighing my options there. And I think we're going to go to Magearna here, because Magearna's got the Air Balloon. It's not going to be able to be Toxic. It's not going to be able to be Earthquaked. And so it's a pretty safe switch in for the most part, or so it would seem here. And we can pressure this thing with Psyshock. Psyshock, I believe, is a 2 KO on it. He just withdraws, though. and brings out Aegis the Great, who I think is Lugia, and that's what I expected him to do turn 1, but he didn't. So good move on his part. What do we do here? I think I just hard switch because I don't want to have my balloon popped. And I think we can go into Slowking pretty safely here. Slowking Super Spadef. This is my special anti-Lugia, Calm Mind Lugia Slowking set with Psych up. So if he does start Calm Minding on us, we can use Psych up to keep up with that and stay ahead and ultimately win. Earth Power does absolutely nothing to Slowking. So I'm imagining this thing is pretty bulky. Must not have much special attack investment. I guess Lugia kind of needs a couple of boosts too. It doesn't have a really high natural attack stats anyways. Go for the Ice Beam here. Do a decent little chip to Lugia if it stays in. And let's see what he brings in. Rosemary, who is his Serena. So that's good. We like that. That should do around half. Yep, around half. Not over half though. And of course that thing can do Power Whip or a number of grass moves that can really pressure Slowking. So we really got to be careful and switch out here. Looking at Growling Moon maybe. Do have to watch out for like a predict with a triple axle. Could really leave Growling Moon hurting there. He really has decent moves into most of my team. Sneasler can eat, I think, pretty much most of what it can throw. It's going to resist fighting high jump kick. It's going to resist Power Whip or whatever grass moves. It's going to resist a knockoff. It'll be neutral from a triple axle, but a triple axle shouldn't kill. He misses the Power Whip. We would have been fine eating it if it did hit, but let's see what we do here. I think, do I just go for a Dire Claw? I don't think he has any steel types on his team, so nothing really wants to take a Dire Claw. If he stays in with Rosemary here, it's going to die, so of course he switches out. Cloudsire maybe? I guess Cloudsire would be the... Yep, smart move there. Cloudsire switches into Sneasler fairly easily. Do a decent little chunk there. Oh, probably because we got a crit. Yeah, I think we just go right back into Magerna here. It's our kind of our dedicated switch in. Have to worry a little bit about establishing a pattern and him being able to read that. But yeah, Mags with Air Balloon is an easy switch in for his Cloudsire here. He goes for a Recover. We presume he's going to switch out again. He could easily just go right back into Lugia. So probably a Volt Switch would have been ideal here. Let's see what he does. But he also kind of... I'm worried about him staying in and doing just Hazard Stack to me here too, I think. So I decided to go for Psyshock. I've got a pretty comfortable Slowking switch in to Lugia as well. So I think at this point I'm kind of thinking him starting to set up hazards is maybe more of a risk to my team than just going to Lugia here. So it goes back into Lugia. We're kind of establishing a pattern here with our switch-ins, and we just got to kind of figure out who can be the first to force progress or to call and do a double. So I go right back to Slowking here. See if maybe he starts Calm Minding. I guess a Calm Mind would be his way to kind of help him break out of the cycle. And Arrow Blast also is not doing much to Slowking. So I'm kind of waiting for him and hoping that he's going to just start trying to Calm Mind on me here. That's kind of my whole goal with this Slowking set, is be able to steal some of his stats. He hard switches again. He doesn't want to get into that matchup with Slowking just yet. Knows I've got Ice Beam, and so smartly goes into his Ninetales here. We do a wee amount of chip, but not very much. And so by allowing this, we've allowed him to get his Veil up. But that's okay. We kind of have a slower paced team here. I think we can kind of wait out his screens We also have Psychic Fang on Salamence if we need it. There's not much that this thing can do to fire types. So, bring in Colossal, sorry. And I think I just get rocks up here to see what he does. I imagine he switches out, but we can get these rocks up here, and assuming he's not boots on his Ninetales, this thing's only going to be able to come in so many times, being weak to these rocks. So he's thinking about it. What does he have for Colossal? Lugia has Earth Power, we know. This thing is 4 times weak to ground moves. We have disclosed our Terras. He does know that I am Terra Ghost on Colossal here. Forgot to let you guys know that. Terra Ghost on here. I believe I am Terra Fairy on my Salamence, and his only Terra Captain is Raging Bolt, who he's Terra Electric on. Okay, so he brings in Clodsire. He can easily pressure me with an Earthquake here, or can just start setting up hazards of his own. So, do we just go right back into... So we're breaking the cycle a little bit here, it looks like. We're just going to go straight into Great Tusk. Great Tusk can eat an Earthquake. It's already poisoned, so we're not worried about poison. He goes Stealth Rock. I think I was thinking as well that I had Rapid Spin on this thing. Kind of forgot, I guess, until him coming in that I do not have Rapid Spin on this thing. So I'm choice locked. I'm wondering, is he going to stay in? He stays in again. This time he pays for it, although he's able to live with the Veil up, which I was a little bit surprised about, but could have some physical investment there. So it seems like a free switch in for his Lugia here. Do I just switch out in anticipation of Lugia? So the longer I stay in, the more I'm... Yeah, alright, well, we're going to see if he stays in. Kind of think he goes to Lugia here. But yeah, the longer I stay in here, I'm just letting Toxic do its work. He does switch out, but I haven't been able to predict some of his movements here very well so far. Staying in twice against Great Tusk with his Clodsire was really kind of surprising. So I was hoping I could just kill it. But that's okay. It's very weak. And now we're in a situation where we definitely want to swap out. I think I just go right back to Slowking here. At this point, the pattern is pretty kind of established that every time he brings this out, I'm going to bring in Henry here. He's not going to be able to do anything to me. So let's see what he does. Is he going to swap? Now he's going to start his Calm Minding. And I'm kind of wondering, do I just go ahead and do my Psych up now? Ideally, I'd like to have him stack up a couple more Calm Minds, and then I can just copy them all at once. So I think, okay, he's in an okay spot. He's comfortable. Let's just hit him with an Ice Beam. He goes for Recover. Gets his multi-scale back intact. Hit him with an Ice Beam, which does nothing to him. Partly because of multi-scale, but even then, that's kind of shocking. So I was hoping he'd maybe take this opportunity to get another Calm Mind off, but he does go for a Aeroblast. So I just copy the one Calm Mind, which is fine. I was just really hoping that I could get a second one there. So now, pretty sure I've scared him. Oh, Aurora Veil. That's why, part of why I did so little there. Pretty sure he's going to swap out now, because he knows he's going to lose this game if I keep psyching up his Calm Minds. Does he go into Arena? He does. And so I call that. We get chipped by the rocks. And I think we can just slam this thing with a Psyshock. So I think he's low enough now to where he is not able to switch in to another set of rocks. So I'm kind of wondering, does he just stay in here? Does he switch out and try and spin the rocks away? He does still have his spinner. Okay, he goes for the Aurora Veil, of course. And I think we can kill him here with the Psyshock. And he survives. So, it's one step ahead, I guess, with my announcements. Now is the point where I'm kind of wondering, does he actually stay in or does he switch out? I go for an Ice Beam just in case he goes into his spinner here. And again, he's low enough that either of my moves are going to kill him. So, Ice Beam does more to most of his team than Psyshock, I think, at this point. Colossus comes in. Okay, and Colossus is low enough that he's just being used as a free switching at this point in time. Okay, we get rid of Claude. Not that Claude could do a whole lot, really, at this point with that low of health and him being slower, I think, than, I believe, my entire team. So he was really just saving that thing for a free pivot like he just did. Okay, in comes Rosemary. Gotta assume he goes for the rapid spin here. I do have Terra Ghost on my Colossal, but at this point, I kind of need to get it in to be able to Terra it first. So he can get the rapid spin off here if he chooses to do so, which I think he's going to do. I think we switch back into Colossal. He can hit us with like a high jump kick, which would hurt us a lot. But my expectation is a rapid spin. I think I'm kind of thinking I can go to my Colossal. And do I do it? I do. Can Terra Ghost on the next turn and get more rocks up. So I don't think there's anything that he can do to stop me from setting up another set of rocks here. Goes for the rapid spin and gets rid of my rocks, and the flame body does the work. Love to see it. Get our burn there on him. And do I go Terra Ghost now? I'm kind of thinking out, like, do I need to do a Terra Ghost? Because it would be nice to save Terra for Salamence if I can. He can high jump kick me, but now that he's burned, I don't think he's able to kill me with high jump kick. So I'm kind of deciding, do I need to burn my Terra? A Sneasler? Interesting. Okay. Also kind of not expecting him to stay in. I think we just go for a... oh, that's right. I forgot he's got his own rocks up. So he power whips us. Pops the citrus. We get rid of his rocks. He does have Zoroark to spin blocks, so I'm glad he stayed in there and allowed us to get rid of his rocks. His Cloudsire is dead, so we don't have to worry about more rocks coming up, I don't think. And now we just get ours up. He goes for the high jump kick. Should have gone for the Terra right then and there, and we would have just had that thing die. Let's see what he does here. At this point, I think I'm thinking let's go Terra, because keeping these rocks in ensures that his Ninetales is not going to be able to come back in. I also go for rapid spin, just because I think he's going to die here pretty soon anyways. And if we can keep him alive a little bit longer, just by doing rapid spins, he is... we're wearing out screen turns, Aurora Veil turns here. So, doing that rather than like a fire spin and just killing him just burns off one more turn. So I think we do the same thing again here, and I'm thinking, hey, maybe he's definitely going to die even just with the burn next turn. Let's see if we can get a little bit of speed, and we're super slow, but we've done 3 rapid spins here, so I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, this will give us a little bit of speed, and maybe we'll be faster than whatever he ends up bringing in next. Okay, so Serena is down, our rocks are staying, his rocks are gone, so we've won kind of the hazard game for progress at this point in time. He's lost a couple of pieces, and I'm feeling okay because we're in a decent spot just as far as positioning with those hazards. Colossal's pretty close to dying here. I'm kind of assuming whatever he brings in next. He brings in his Zoroark, who was not hiding. He forgot to order his team to make Zoroark hide. That's okay. So I assume this thing is probably still going to outspeed me. It's probably going to nail me with a ghost move of some kind, and I'm just going to die. And that's fine at this point. Curse is my best way to do damage against this or whatever else. He goes for a Shadow Sneak, which I survive, and I was kind of surprised he didn't just go for another move. I don't know if he was worried I was going to be faster with him after the 3 rapid spins. We get the curse off. We kind of brought this set just in case we get into like a stall matchup with Lugia to be able to slow Lugia down and do damage on it if it keeps calm minding on us. And so we've also now worn out the Veil. The rocks are up. He's not getting another Veil. And so I'm trying to decide, do I bring in Growling Moon and just start Dragon Dancing now? Maybe he'll switch out because he has Curse. I'm also kind of worried what the heck is going on here because he has a Toxic Orb that just activated. So we could be seeing like a Facade set. He could fling us with the orb. I ultimately opt to let's just kill this thing. Snuffy should be able to survive a Shadow Sneak. Should be able to kill this thing with a knockoff. I don't want to find out what he was cooking up here with this thing, and so we just get rid of it. Okay, and so who does he bring in next? At this point, our Tusk is pretty low. I'm kind of thinking, do I just stay in and knock off no matter what? Should I try and preserve this thing? I am remembering he has a Terra Electric Raging Bolt, and so that certainly is of consideration. Okay, he brings in Lugia. It would be nice to knock off Lugia, but I want to preserve this thing for his Raging Bolt specifically. Even if he's Scarf, we are EV to be faster than a Scarf Raging Bolt. He's Terra Electric, he's not going to be able to Thunderclap us. We preserve our ground type. And what does he do? He Aeroblasts again. I gotta assume he does not stay in here. I think we just hit Ice Beam. Will hurt this thing if it stays in. It'll hurt a Raging Bolt if it comes in. Not even remembering who his third one is at this point in time. Let's see what he does. The Ice Beam feels like free chip progress. If I had Chilly Reception on this set, I definitely would just do a Chilly here, not expecting him to stay in. But we've got our weird Psych up set for this Lugia counter, so no Chilly Reception here. He's thinking long and hard. Who wants to eat the Ice Beam? He withdraws. And good call, just decides to get rid of, just use his Ninetales for a free switch in, which is all that it can do at this point, so might as well do it there. Imagine he just comes in with his Raging Bolt here, which he's behind, but with a Terra Electric Raging Bolt, we don't know what he's got. He could sit here and start Calm Minding on us. He potentially could still win the game with Raging Bolt if he gets into the right position here. So we've got to be really... He's thinking long and hard. I'm not sure what he's thinking about because... Okay, yep, this is the one to bring in. So he could go a dragon move and just call my switch into Snuffy here, and I'm okay with that if he does. But I'm kind of expecting that he's going to do electric, or he's going to start setting up with a Calm Mind. So I'm just going straight into Snuffy here. Hopefully create some pressure on this thing. He Terra Electrics because why not? Which makes me feel good at this point, because if he had chosen a dragon move, he probably doesn't bother to do a Terra Electric right here. I guess maybe he would have, but he does go for the electric move. It's a Volt Switch, and so I'm happy to see that because it kind of makes me think he is some kind of a choice set, most likely. He could be like a bulky, heavy-duty boots pivot or something. But he hard switches there. Does not want to mess around with Great Tusk. Brings in Lugia. I think we call this and do the knockoff. He's got Rocky Helmet. And that's it for Snuffy, but that's okay. I think we bring in Sneasler here. Sneasler is the only mon that we have that's faster than Lugia. Lugia is actually really fast if invested. Tempted to set up a Salamence. We don't want this thing to start healing and setting up on us. I just want it dead. So we bring in Sneeze Nuts. And I think we just start Dire Clawing here. Dire Claw should finish this thing. The other option is I could have U-turned here. But I think my goal is just to stay in. Oh, and I forgot, because the Rocky Helmet killed me during the knockoff with Great Tusk, it didn't actually get knocked off. This is an interesting mechanic that don't always run into. So in comes his Thunder Neck here. I'm hoping he's choice. Hindsight, I probably should have gone for a close combat here. I think close combat had a chance to kill based on how much Dire Claw did. We get the Poison Touch, which is cool because now this thing is on a timer. It goes for Thunderbolt. Kills Sneeze Nuts. And I am hoping that he is choice, because then I can just come in and make a clean kill with Growling Moon. However, because we got the Poison Touch here, it's on a clock. It's only got, I think, one more turn, maybe two. I think it's just one. So we can just go for an Earthquake and finish it, even if he Thunderclaps and kills us. I think we can just win with the poison if we need to. So I believe this is good games here. Let's see what he does. Is he a Thunderclap? Is he a choice after all? Gotta assume he's choice because he did not Thunderclap there. So, and that is it. This is actually our week 6 match of ZDL. We were a little bit behind this one. I actually released week 7 last week. We've got one more game in the regular season. We are now 6-1. We've secured a top 6 playoff spot seeding, so we get a bye week, which is really cool. And yeah, we will see you guys in week 9, and we'll be getting into some playoffs here shortly thereafter.